In this video, I'm going to make a photograph inspired by the still life paintings of the Dutch masters. I'm actually going to take you along on a short shopping trip where I look for props for the shoot. Then we'll go back into the studio and I'll show you how I created the image. Let's get started. One challenge you have with still life photography is finding good subject material. Obviously you got all kinds of fruits, vegetables, flowers, but you want props as well. Generally kind of the older and worn out the better, often, not always, but often. So I moved a couple of years ago and I got rid of a lot of stuff. And so, and our house is very modern and minimalist. So I need to find more things to use in my still life photography. So today I'm at a place called Mongers Market in Connecticut. It's an antique market with a lot of different booths and stalls, only open on Sunday. And I'm going to go in there and see if I can find some just cool things to use in still life photography. If everything goes well, I'll buy some stuff, bring it back to my studio, and show you how I create a still life shot. Well, this place is just filled with all kinds of stuff, knickknacks, antique items, very big items, small items, and so it's kind of a treasure trove. Try not to spend too much money. The other problem is I don't want to store all this stuff either, so I'm trying to be selective in what I can find. So I stopped at a stall where there is a ton of pewter. And this stuff works really well with still life photography. One, because it's got great character, but in addition, it's not so reflective. And so I've already taken a lot of shots with pewter that I bought from this guy several months ago. So I may have to buy more. We'll see. Look at these very cool spoons there. Well, I am going to buy this little plate. This is from the 18th century pewter plate. And it's got great character to it. And I think with food photography, compared to my modern plates, this one's going to work much better. Well, I just bought some pewter from that guy, but the good news is he's launching a new business and will need some product photography. So I may have got another client too, we'll see. I'll keep making my way around. There is just so much cool stuff here. It is unbelievable. I really need to have a separate structure on my property, like a barn, so I can store all this stuff and just do still lifes. So old books can also come in handy when you're doing still life photography. So in back of me there's some fairly old worn books that I think could be really cool subjects. So I just negotiated with this guy to buy, it's going to get 4 small ones. They're Shakespeare books, maybe 100 years old, I don't even know, but I'm going to take some of these off the shelf and grab them. Well, if I had unlimited storage, I would buy, I'll show you in a second, but there's some amazing old pieces of wood back here which would make a great setting or table for still lifes, but unfortunately I just don't have the storage space for it. These are the pieces of wood I'm talking about, just really cool textures and patterns, and there's this, I'll turn around this way, there's like literally a whole section of just old pieces of wood. I mean, look at this, look down here, this old gnarly, fantastic textures. Like I would buy that in a second if I had a barn to store it in, which I don't. So I found this one booth of a lot of old tools, and the whole thing is like one big still life. It is really incredible. Well, bought some stuff, some pewter, some books. I was so tempted to buy a lot more stuff, but I gotta do this kind of one step at a time. I don't want to collect too much stuff. So the goal is now to head back home, get into my studio, and come up with a really cool composition that I could show you how I shoot it and light it. So next stop, my studio. All right, I am back in my studio. That was an awesome shopping trip. Great place to go to find just old stuff or props for still life photography. So really the inspiration for the shot today is sort of the old Dutch masters paintings of still lifes. Here's just a couple I'll put up just to show you kind of what I'm going for. So you got to get the lighting right, the composition right, the colors. Let me go back now, show you what the setup is right now. Might change things a little bit, but you can see the direction I'm heading. So here is the setup. Just a couple things. Obviously, having a great surface and a backdrop is an important part of the shot. Ideally, I would have an old table in some rustic barn where I could shoot this, but I've got this, as you can see, very sterile, white-walled photo studio. So I did buy from Veet Flat World these duo boards, and they really are used for this kind of thing, food photography, product photography. They're called duo boards because they have different patterns on each side. So this side, for example, kind of a cool cement look. This side being a darker cement look. Even this one, the other side is kind of a brown wood. So that's what I chose. So this is the composition as it stands now. Again, I might play with the stuff, but you can see some of the stuff I bought, right? I got the pewter spoons, the pewter plate, those books back there, those Shakespeare books that I bought, and some of the other stuff I've purchased in the past. Again, just that these are used items. The main subject are these pomegranates. Great subject because of the color and the texture. But I wanted to find some balance. I wanted to add some other colors to it. So I got some cranberries in that pewter bowl, some lemons. And then today I was at the store and I saw these chestnuts. I'm like, that would be pretty cool too. I added some greenery. I added these old, really dead roses on either side. But the key, I think, is to really fill the frame. That's what the Dutch masters had done. And so I wanted a lot going on there. But again, the star is the pomegranates. So when you're trying to replicate these Dutch master still life paintings, with photos, lighting is critical. You could see those images I showed you early on of the paintings. There's always this directionality of light, and there's great shadows and highlights. So let me turn this around. I'll show you what I've got set up here. So I've got my modeling light on, so you can see, but I've got the light coming from the side and above, very much this side. In fact, even behind it a little bit. But that provides you with these really nice shadows coming across the subject matter. I may have to bring in a reflector just to put some of the shadows, put a little light on those shadows a little bit. But overall, this is kind of what I'm going for. Now, one thing you do see with the Dutch masters still life paintings is they tend to have their subjects presented on different levels. So I tried to do that with what I have here. Let me just turn this around and I'll show you. So I've tried to keep some stuff relatively low, and as you go back, it does get up on different levels. I put the cranberries up on these books, and even that last pomegranate, if you look closely back there, there's a little wooden block that's hidden, but it's kind of propping that up. And obviously with the greenery, it has it kind of going back up towards the backdrop. All right, I'm just going to click off some shots just to see how this is working from a lighting standpoint. I'm getting most of this frame in there. Yeah, this is looking pretty good actually. Sometimes it's also helpful to get a different angle. So I'll use this pedestal or this ottoman, and without hurting myself, shooting down it a little bit gives you a different perspective. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. So I'm liking these shots. The shadows are a little dark, so I'm just gonna grab my reflector over here, pop it up next to the scene that I set up, And that should allow some of those shadows to get filled in a little bit more to bounce that light right back into the scene. That should work pretty well. Well, I am pretty happy with these images. What's cool is that if you get the lighting right, there's almost no work to do in post. I mean, here's a shot I'll show you right now that I took that is straight out of camera. So I've done nothing to this image. I cropped it a little bit, but there is no post-production on it. Obviously in post I did some stuff. This is all Lightroom. This is just pulling up the shadows a little bit. I took down clarity a tad, but really didn't have to do a lot. And I'll be doing more of these studio videos as well. Hope you're enjoying them. When the weather gets better, I'll get out and do some outdoor work as well. If you did like the video though, it does help the channel just to give me thumbs up, a like. Any comments are always super helpful for me, for feedback. And if you like these videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos. And until next time.